When you think about it, a lot of the foods that we love are kind of weird. Sushi and poke are both made with raw fish. Blue cheese has mold in it, and truffles are actually a fungus. However, many people still love these foods and they can even be seen as being special or fancy. The food that most people think of as weird is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to strange dishes. There are foods from all over the world that are 10 times as crazy as anything you've ever heard of. These dishes feature animals you'd never think of eating and preparation processes that are totally strange. Want to know the 10 weirdest foods that you've never even heard of? Keep watching to find out. Interact with us. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be notified when we upload more content. Don't forget to leave a like and comment below. Also, feel free to suggest any type of videos you would like to see on this channel. Thanks! Number 1. Kazoo Marzu. This cheese from the Mediterranean island of Sardinia has a pungent smell and an even more gross surprise inside. The Kazoo Marzu itself is made from sheep's milk and is similar to pecorino, but this version has live maggots inside of it. The maggots eat away at the cheese, fermenting it and giving it a softer texture. The excrement left by the maggots is what gives the cheese its unique flavor. The strangest part is that the Kazoo Marzu must be eaten while the maggots are still alive and active within the cheese. If the maggots have died, that is a sign that the cheese has gone bad and it is not safe to eat anymore. Unfortunately, Kazoo Marzu has been banned due to health concerns related to the cheese going toxic and possibly causing intestinal larval infection. However, Kazoo Marzu can still be found on the black market in Sardinia and parts of Italy. If you want to try this strange cheese, you've been warned that it's not for those with a weak heart or stomach. Number 2. Wasp Cookies. In 2012, a group of digger wasp enthusiasts worked with a bakery in Omachi, Japan to come up with a special rice cracker called Jibachi Senbei, otherwise known as a wasp cookie. The cookie itself is your typical sweet treat, but it contains digger wasps, which are not sweetened or disguised in any way. The wasps are caught in special traps and then boiled, dried, added to the batter, and baked into cookies. The wasps are said to add a taste of burnt raisins to otherwise normal-tasting cookies. The digger wasps used in the cookies also have the highest percentage of protein out of all edible insects. These little wasps contain a whopping 81% of protein. The wasp cookies, which are sold at local markets and gourmet food shops, are gross to many but seem to be the most popular with the elderly. Over time, people must have lost their affinity for eating wasps and now only a select few enjoy them. Number 3. Aguduk. Also known as Alaskan ice cream or Eskimo ice cream, aguduk is a food made by Native Americans such as the Alaskan Athabascans. The specific ingredients can vary based on what is available, but aguduk is generally made with dried meat, animal fat, and berries all whipped together into a sort of cream. The aguduk can then be served as is or frozen, which is why it's considered to be like ice cream. The dried meat used in aguduk can include moose, caribou, and different types of fish. The fat used to whip the ingredients together is usually caribou tallow, moose tallow, walrus tallow, or seal oil. Many different types of berries can be used such as cowberry, bilberry, cranberry, raspberry, prickly rose, and more. Finally, natural sweeteners are sometimes added to aguduk such as the roots of Indian potato or wild carrot. In modern versions of aguduk, some of the ingredients may be replaced with sugar, milk, or vegetable shortening. Number 4. Hash. Hash is a type of stew from the Middle East that involves the boiled feet, head, and stomach of a cow or sheep. Hash is a traditional dish eaten in many countries, including but not limited to Afghanistan, Bulgaria, Greece, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, and Turkey. Hash is thought to have originated from Armenia, and the name hash even comes from the Armenian word for to boil. The stew is painstakingly made by severing a cow's feet, thoroughly cleaning and soaking them to remove any smell, then boiling the feet overnight, which creates the thick broth that the dish is based upon. The only optional seasonings added are salt, garlic, lemon juice, or vinegar, and hash is always served hot. Hash is often served with cheese or vegetables such as peppers, watercress, radishes, onion, and pickles. Mulberry vodka and mineral water are the preferred drinks to be paired with hash. Hash was once a very common winter dish, but it is now considered a special delicacy. Number 5. Hacarl. Hacarl is a dried meat that comes from Iceland. However, this dried meat is very different from beef jerky. This dish is made of shark meat that goes through a special fermentation process. Hacarl is usually made from Greenland shark, which is poisonous if consumed raw. First, the shark is gutted. Then the shark is buried and covered with stones for 6 to 12 weeks to cure. Over this time, all fluids, including the poisonous ones, are pressed out of the shark and it begins to ferment. After this, the shark is cut into strips and hung to dry for a few months. After drying, the brown crust that forms on the shark meat is removed before it can be eaten. The texture and taste of hacarl is said to be like that of cheese, but very intense and slightly fishy. The strong smell of hacarl is the most off-putting to people. Some even say that it smells like urine. Number 6. Fried spiders. Fried spiders, which are exactly what they sound like, are a typical snack in the country of Cambodia. Spiders are specially bred by street vendors who make this creepy crawly insect a snack. The spiders used are a type of tarantula called the Thai zebra tarantula, which are about palm size and are totally safe to eat. The spiders are seasoned with MSG, sugar, salt, and crushed garlic before being fried in oil. Once cooked, the legs of the spiders are stiff and the head and the abdomen contain a soft white meat and a brown paste which is made of the spider's organs and possibly eggs and excrement. The fried spiders have been described from being flavorless or bland to tasting like a cross between chicken and cod. Locals in Cambodia are thought to have started eating spiders in the 70s when food was scarce in the area. However, fried spiders only gained major popularity in the 90s when tourists became intrigued by the unusual local treat. Number 7. Kopi Luwak. Kopi Luwak, thought to be the world's most expensive coffee, comes from Indonesia and is made of partially digested coffee cherries. Yes, the coffee cherries are already partially digested before the coffee is even made. This is because a cat-like animal called the Asian palm civet eats the cherries from the coffee tree. The cherries are fermented but not completely digested as they pass through the civet's intestines, and then what remains of the cherry is collected from the civet's feces to make the coffee. So basically, this world-renowned coffee is made from an animal's poop. A cup of Kopi Luwak can go from $35 to $100, and a pound of Kopi Luwak beans can cost as much as $600. As the demand for Kopi Luwak increases, many people question whether the farms that produce Kopi Luwak are treating their Asian palm civets ethically by keeping them in cages and force-feeding them cherries rather than trying to find civet excrement in the wild. Number 8. Century eggs. Century eggs are not actually hundreds of years old, but they certainly look like it. This Chinese delicacy is made by preserving duck, quail, or chicken eggs in a solution that is usually made of clay and salt but can also include ash, quicklime, and rice hulls. The eggs are soaked for several weeks to a few months, depending on the processing method. By the time that the eggs are ready to eat, they have turned a dark green, brown, or black color. The yolk is a creamy cheese-like texture, and the white of the egg has the consistency of jelly. Century eggs have a strong smell that is thought to be like horse urine, sulfur, or ammonia. Despite their off-putting look and odor, century eggs just taste like very intense boiled eggs. Century eggs are often eaten with pickled ginger and rice porridge because the taste of vinegar pairs well with the strong egg flavor. Number 9. Cherry blossom meat. In a Western country, if a restaurant used horse meat in a dish, it would be a big scandal and considered unethical or gross, but in Japan, eating horse meat is not uncommon. The horse meat is called cherry blossom meat, or sakura niku in Japanese. This is because of the meat's bright pink color and the way it quickly oxidizes and turns a brownish red if left out for too long. Like how a flower wilts or how guacamole turns brown after being left out for a period of time. The meat is tender, high in protein, and considered rare, so it is more expensive than chicken, pork, or beef and eaten less frequently. The city of Kumamoto is especially well known for its restaurants that sells dishes that feature cherry blossom meat. But the delicacy can be found in many other cities with fine restaurants as well. Cherry blossom meat can be eaten raw like sashimi with soy sauce, grated ginger, or Japanese horseradish. The horse meat can also be used as part of a sushi roll or a hot pot dish. Number 10. Fried rattlesnake. Rednecks have a reputation for eating anything they can hunt, and highly venomous animals must be no exception because fried rattlesnake is a dish most popular in the southern United States. Fried rattlesnake is cooked just how any other fried meat would be prepared, but the most important step is making sure to carefully remove the snake's head before cooking, because even dead rattlesnakes can inject a dangerous amount of venom if mishandled. Once beheaded, the snake should be delicately skinned and gutted. Then it's ready to be chopped up, coated in batter, and fried. Rattlesnakes have lots of tiny bones and the meat can be quite tough and stringy, but people still say those things don't detract from the overall quality of the meat. It's said that rattlesnakes taste most similar to chicken, but the flavor can be even more mild. Fried rattlesnake is a common dish for people who hunt in the South, and it can even be found in some country-themed restaurants. Have these strange cuisines from around the world left you feeling hungry? Or maybe you're feeling a little more grossed out. Either way, it's true that every country has their own unusual foods that will be unpleasant to some, but delicious to others. Even if that food is made from creepy crawly bugs, poisonous animals, or raw horse meat. But you know what they say, you can't knock it until you try it. So, did any of these weird dishes make you want to try a bite? Which of these 10 foods would you never eat? Join the conversation and let us know in the comment section below.